What if I told you there was a proven formula to achieve any goal and create the life of your dreams? A method so powerful that it could transform you from an average Joe into a high-achieving superstar in your field. Well, buckle up, because today we're diving deep into the game-changing concept of massive action and how it can lead to the massive results you've always dreamed of. Welcome to CEO's Library, the 1% bookshelf, where we distill the most powerful insights from top business and personal development books into actionable strategies for executives, leaders, and aspiring entrepreneurs. I'm your host, and today we're exploring Massive Action Equals Massive Results by Dr. Sunil Saxena. Now, before we jump in, let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you're standing at the base of a towering mountain. The peak is shrouded in clouds, and the path to the top looks steep, treacherous, and downright intimidating. This mountain represents your biggest goals, your wildest dreams. Most people look at this mountain and think, there's no way I can climb that. They might take a few hesitant steps, maybe even make it to the first checkpoint, but soon they turn back, overwhelmed by the challenge ahead. But what if I told you that there's a way to not only climb that mountain, but to do it faster and more efficiently than you ever thought possible? That's exactly what Dr. Saxena's book is all about. It's a blueprint for unleashing your full potential and achieving extraordinary results in every area of your life. So, let's start our ascent up this mountain of massive action and massive results. Our first stop is understanding the massive action mindset. Now, I want you to ask yourself, what's holding you back from taking bold action toward your goals? Is it fear of failure, lack of confidence, or maybe you're just comfortable where you are, unwilling to rock the boat? Dr. Saxena argues that to achieve extraordinary results, we need to develop what he calls a swing big, miss big mentality. Think about it like this. In baseball, the players who hit the most home runs are often the ones who strike out the most. They're not afraid to take big swings, even if it means missing sometimes. This mentality is all about pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. It's about being willing to fail spectacularly in pursuit of spectacular success. Now, I know what you're thinking. But what if I fail? What if I look foolish? Well, here's a truth bomb for you. You will fail. You will look foolish sometimes. But here's the kicker. It doesn't matter. Dr. Saxena shares a powerful quote from Michael Jordan in the book. Jordan said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." You see, massive action isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about taking so much action that your successes far outweigh your failures. But to truly embrace this mindset, you need to establish what Dr. Saxena calls rock-solid inner core beliefs. These are the unshakable convictions that fuel your actions. It's not enough to just say you believe in yourself. You need to believe it so deeply that it becomes a part of who you are. So how do you build these rock-solid beliefs? It starts with identifying your why. Why do you want to achieve your goals? What's driving you? Is it to provide a better life for your family? To make a difference in the world? To prove to yourself that you're capable of greatness? Once you've identified your why, you need to reinforce it every single day. Dr. Saxena recommends reviewing your goals and your why statement daily. This constant reinforcement helps to reprogram your subconscious mind, aligning your deepest beliefs with your biggest ambitions. Now, let's be real for a moment. Adopting this massive action mindset isn't easy. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to push you to your limits. But that's exactly the point. As Dr. Saxena puts it, live where the magic happens. Get out of your comfort zone. Think about a time when you achieved something you were truly proud of. Chances are, it required you to step outside your comfort zone. Maybe it was public speaking, starting a business, or asking someone out on a date. The growth and success you experienced came from pushing past your fears and taking massive action. So, I challenge you to start reframing your thinking. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, see them as opportunities for growth. Instead of fearing failure, embrace it as a necessary step on the path to success. Remember, every successful person you admire has failed countless times. The difference is, they kept swinging big. Now that we've laid the foundation of the massive action mindset, let's talk about one of the biggest challenges you'll face on your journey: overcoming obstacles. To illustrate this, let me share a story from Dr. Saxena's own life. He started his career as a shy medical student, struggling to even talk to patients. Can you imagine that? A doctor who was terrified of interacting with people? But through the power of massive action, he not only overcame this fear, but went on to become a successful entrepreneur and author. So, what changed? Dr. Saxena recognized that his fear was holding him back from reaching his full potential. He decided to tackle this fear head-on by forcing himself to interact with people more often. He set challenges for himself, like striking up conversations with strangers or volunteering for presentations. Was it uncomfortable? Absolutely. Did he stumble and make mistakes? You bet. But with each interaction, each small victory, his confidence grew. He was taking massive action, and it was paying off. This brings us to one of the most insidious obstacles you'll face on your journey, what Dr. Saxena calls the invisible force. This is the resistance that seems to pop up whenever you're on the verge of doing something great. It's that voice in your head that says, "You're not ready," or "You'll probably fail, so why bother?" Stephen Pressfield, in his book The War of Art, calls this force resistance. It's the internal biological mechanism that wants to keep you safe and comfortable. The problem is, safe and comfortable doesn't lead to extraordinary results. So how do you battle this invisible force? The key is to recognize it for what it is, a natural part of the growth process. When you feel that resistance, that's your cue that you're on the right track. It means you're pushing yourself beyond your current limits. The next obstacle you'll face is dealing with negative feedback and bad advice. When you start taking massive action, you're going to ruffle some feathers. People will question what you're doing. They might tell you to be realistic or play it safe. Dr. Saxena shares a powerful analogy in the book. He likens this situation to a basket of crabs. If you put a bunch of crabs in a basket, as soon as one tries to climb to the top and escape, you'll see the other crabs pulling it down. This is exactly what it's like when you're trying to improve yourself and take your life to new heights. Those closest to you will consciously or unconsciously try to bring you down. But here's the thing. Negative feedback is often a sign that you're on the right track. It means you're doing something different, something that challenges the status quo. As Dr. Saxena puts it, if you don't have haters, then you're not doing it right. The key is to be selective about whose advice you take. Dr. Saxena emphasizes the importance of taking advice only from people who have achieved the level of success you aspire to. If someone hasn't walked the path you're trying to walk, their advice, no matter how well-intentioned, may not be relevant to your journey. Another major obstacle you'll need to overcome is the victim mentality. This is the tendency to blame external circumstances for your failures or lack of progress. It's easy to fall into this trap, especially when things get tough. But adopting a victim mentality is like putting the brakes on your massive action. Dr. Saxena argues that no matter what happens to you, how bad or unfair a situation is, you should never assume the role of the victim. Instead, take ownership of your circumstances. This doesn't mean that unfair things won't happen to you. They will. But by taking ownership, you maintain control over your response and your future actions. Remember, massive action is about being proactive, not reactive. It's about creating the circumstances you want, not just responding to the circumstances you're given. Now that we've discussed the mindset and obstacles, let's dive into the mechanics of massive action. How do you actually implement these principles in your day-to-day life? Let me ask you a question. Are you truly maximizing your time and energy? Most people would say yes, but Dr. Saxena challenges this assumption with a simple yet powerful concept. There are 168 hours in a week. Think about that for a moment. Even if you sleep 8 hours a night, that still leaves you with 112 waking hours each week. How are you using those hours? Are you making the most of them? Dr. Saxena advocates for what he calls 3 weeks in every week. You have your regular work week, your evenings, and your weekends. Each of these periods can be just as productive as a traditional work week if you use them effectively. Now, I'm not suggesting you should work 24/7. That's a recipe for burnout. But it's about being intentional with your time. It's about recognizing that every hour is an opportunity to move closer to your goals. One powerful tool Dr. Saxena recommends is the 30-day challenge. This is where you commit to doing something every single day for 30 days straight. It could be working out, writing, learning a new skill, or anything else that aligns with your goals. The power of the 30-day challenge is that it helps you build momentum and establish new habits. It pushes you to take consistent action, even on days when you don't feel like it. And often, by the end of the 30 days, you've made significant progress and the new behavior has become a habit. I'll share a personal example. A few years ago, I decided to do a 30-day writing challenge. I committed to writing 500 words every day no matter what. The first few days were tough. I found myself staring at a blank screen more often than not. But as the days went by, it got easier. Ideas started flowing more freely. By the end of the 30 days, not only had I written 15,000 words, but I had also developed a daily writing habit that I maintain to this day. Another key strategy Dr. Saxena discusses is developing mini habits. These are incredibly small, almost ridiculously easy actions that you commit to doing every day. For example, if your goal is to get in shape, your mini habit might be to do one push-up every day. Now, you might be thinking, how is one push-up going to make a difference? But that's not the point. The point is to make the habit so easy that you have no excuse not to do it. More often than not, once you've done that one push-up, you'll feel motivated to do more. Mini habits work because they help you overcome inertia. They get you moving, even if it's just a little bit. And movement, no matter how small, is the essence of massive action. Dr. Saxena also emphasizes the importance of maintaining what he calls a peak state. This is a state of mind where you're fully energized, focused, and productive. It's when you're in the zone, so to speak. Maintaining this peak state requires constant vigilance. It means being aware of your mental and emotional state throughout the day, and taking steps to optimize it. This could involve things like regular exercise, meditation, or simply taking short breaks to reset your mind. One practical tip Dr. Saxena offers is to block out uninterrupted time for deep work. This is time where you focus solely on your most important tasks, free from distractions like email or social media. He recommends aiming for at least 2-hour blocks of uninterrupted time. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but I don't have time for all this. I'm already stretched thin as it is. But remember, massive action isn't about doing more things. It's about doing the right things with intensity and focus. It's about ruthlessly eliminating or delegating tasks that don't align with your big goals. It's about saying no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great ones. As Dr. Saxena puts it, don't take action for action's sake. This brings us to one of the most crucial aspects of massive action, persistence. Dr. Saxena talks about adopting a persist until mentality. This means committing to a goal and refusing to give up until you achieve it, no matter how long it takes or how difficult it becomes. Think about some of the most successful people in history. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he successfully created the light bulb. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. What set these people apart wasn't just their talent or their ideas, it was their persistence. They took massive action, day after day, year after year, until they achieved their goals. They understood that success is not about avoiding failure, but about persisting through failure. So, as we wrap up our journey through massive action equals massive results, I want to leave you with a challenge. Identify one area in your life where you can start applying these massive action principles immediately. Maybe it's a business goal you've been putting off, a fitness target you've been hesitant to pursue, or a personal skill you've always wanted to develop. Whatever it is, commit to taking massive action towards it. Set a 30-day challenge for yourself. Develop some mini habits to support your goal. Block out time for deep, focused work on this goal every day. Remember, massive action isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about taking so much action that your successes far outweigh your failures. It's about pushing past your comfort zone, battling through resistance, and persisting until you achieve your dreams. As Dr. Saxena says, massive action equals massive results. So go out there and take massive action. Your future self will thank you for it. Thank you for joining us on CEO's Library, the 1% Bookshelf. If you found value in this episode, please don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And remember, the Amazon link to buy a copy of Massive action equals massive results is in the episode description. Until next time, keep swinging big.